department here at Art Storefronts. I've been doing that going on 6 years, which means been working for 6+ years on trying to figure out how to best solve the difficult problem that you guys are all trying to solve, which is how do you leverage marketing to actually grow a successful art or photography business in today's day and age. In addition to that, we've been running essentially like 3 of these sessions a week for a little bit over a year. And I always say on these sessions, and I don't believe it's hyperbole, I'm not sure that there are very many people on this planet that talk to more artists and photographers on a week in, week out basis and have been doing so for a long time. As a final, we have, I think, 5,700 customers, something like that, 5,800 customers now at Art Storefronts, and we study their data very, very intently. Who's selling the most originals? Who's selling the most prints? Who's selling the most metal prints? Who's doing the best at commissions? Who's the best on social media? Who's leveraging interesting marketing techniques and tactics? Where are their traffic coming from? Who's over 6 figures a year? Who's knocking on the $1 million a year sales? And when you have that data at your fingertips and you study it intently, it allows me to make some pretty pointed calls about what is actually working out there in today's day and age to sell art and photography and to actually grow a business, rather than a lot of the nonsense you hear about here, there, and everywhere on things that is actually working. So I say all that to say, whether you ever end up doing business with Art Storefronts at all, I want the call to be valuable. I want you guys to get some insights that you can actually put into place and help your business immediately. So the Q&A part, after my little presentation, where we can get into all that, go over any and all questions you guys might have in detail. But I want to start out, independent before we get into anything else. And just move myself around here so I can get to my screen share. I've been playing around with and sort of come up with this concept that I stole from Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And I'm not sure if you're aware of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Basically, it's a pyramid. You have to sort the bottom blocks first. Once you sort those, you can start working on the ones that are above it, right? So in Maslow's case, we have to, all of us, sort our physiological needs first. We all need to eat. We all need to sleep. Once we have that taken care of, we can start working on safety, right? And savings and getting fit and putting a roof over our head. After that, love and belonging, esteem, self-actualization, so on and so on. So I've hacked it to the art selling pyramid. And, the subtitle is The Path to a Successful Art Business in 2021 and Beyond. And I firmly, firmly believe that. It is absolutely the path. And sadly, there are quite a few people that are not on it. And so I want to kind of explain this, break it down for you, and you can kind of evaluate where you are as a result of it. The bottom block of the pyramid is attention. And no different than in Maslow's case, it's a physiological need, sorting, eating, and sleeping every single solitary day. Well, so too is getting attention, okay? Attention is something that we all need to be doing on getting more of it on a day in and day out basis. And it comes in a couple of different forms. It comes in rented and it comes in owned. Owned attention is the attention that can't be taken away from us, specifically email addresses and phone numbers and snail mail addresses, right? That's attention that you own. The rented varietals are what you get on the socials, on Facebook, on Instagram. So your friends, your followers, potentially Snapchat or TikTok or Pinterest or wherever you're doing your marketing. And it's the currency of the land, straight up. With attention, you can do absolutely anything. Without it, you're not in the game. And it is so fundamental to anything and everything that we do in trying to grow a successful business, regardless of what it is, art or otherwise, in today's day and age. So it really, really is important. And, one of the things that I always say on these calls is, do you know some of the most powerful women in the, not just United States, but world are? Anybody? It's kind of an open-ended question. It's the Kardashians, okay? It's the Kardashians. And we can all have a moral argument about how these particular women generated the level of attention that they have. But what you cannot argue about is the fact that these girls have not flown commercial in quite some time, okay? They all have massive businesses. Why is that? Because they understand the currency of the land is attention, okay? These women all have hundreds of millions of Instagram followers and Facebook fans. And any one of them could decide today that they're going to be an artist. They could throw some stick figures on a canvas and probably have a $10 million a year art business year one, because they understand attention is the currency of the land. I know without fail that every single solitary person on this call has an attention problem. I know it conclusively. Why do I know that? Because I have 5,500 customers, 5,700 customers, whatever it is. They all have an attention problem. It never goes away. It doesn't matter if you're in $1 million. If you're $1 million a year, you want to grow that business to 5 million. To get there, you need attention. Essentially, it comes down to marketing, but it is the be all end all of growing a successful art business. And one of the points, the finer points that I like to just hammer this home on, sadly, a successful art or photography business is not a meritocracy on the quality of your talent artistically. A successful art or photography business is a meritocracy on who gets the attention. It's a meritocracy on marketing. Without the eyeballs to your art, you're not going to sell any of it. Without the eyeballs to your photography, you're not going to sell any of it. You are not going to be able to grow a considerable business. So the attention is absolutely critical. The next block, let's just say, has an inner section and an outer section. The outer section is you need to understand the business model, okay? And what is the business model? What do I mean by that? You have to be selling directly to your customers. Okay, you have to be selling directly to your customers such that you can maintain their information, such that you can market to them in perpetuity. I grabbed this concept from, sorry, it's over here, from this guy's book, Weiland is the Whale Guy. Depending on who you talk to, he's the #1 selling artist in the United States. It's not even close. Okay, Don't Be a Starving Artist. Amazing book. I'm going to send you links to anything that I talk about, by the way. So I'm going to send you links to this. I want you to buy this book. It's extremely skinny. It's amazing. In there, Weiland talks about this notion of collectors, okay, and a collector list. And he defines it as anyone that buys in upwards of 8 pieces from him over the course of their lifetimes. So they get exposed to Weiland at some point in time. He markets to them, treats them well, does a bunch of things there that we can talk about later in terms of tradecraft. And his prices keep going up. And these people are just along for the ride. They're going to end up buying 8 pieces or more over the course of his lifetime. And it is one of the most powerful concepts, and also one of the most heartbreaking, because the way that I analogize a collector list and how important it is you guys are all essentially just commission salespeople. It's a way to think about it, right? If you sell a bunch of your art and you have a great year, fantastic. But if you don't sell a bunch because you weren't very good at the sales, then you have a lousy year, right? You don't make any money. You're commissioned salespeople. Your collector list is like having a base salary. It's like having a base salary secured, $60, $70, $80, $100,000 a year, just for showing up and getting out of bed in the morning, just for creating. That's what the collector list is. Because what happens is, and let's just keep the math simple for my example here, you come out with the new series, you're having a sale, whatever it is, there's 10 pieces in the sale, okay, just to keep the math simple, and you're going to announce the sale on Monday, and the sale is going to end on Friday. Well, on Sunday, you send the entire sale to your collector list, and you say, hey, collectors, thank you so much for the patronage. You know I love you guys. I'm having this big sale. You guys have supported me in the past, so don't feel obligated to buy anything, but here is my new series. I want you to see it before anyone else. And guess what ends up happening? Your collector list buys some portion of the sale before it even goes on sale, before it even happens. And I see this time and time again on some of my customers. It's already up to like 50, 60, 70%, meaning 70% of the show or the new series of work or the sale is purchased before the public even gets to see it, okay? That is the power of a collector list. You are a commissioned salesperson, okay? But with a collector list, that you take care of, you have a base salary, and it never goes away. It is secure for year after year after year. And I tell you, week in, week out, I tell you, I've had 3 of these calls, a week for pretty much a year and a half. Do you know how heartbreaking it is for me to see people in their late 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and even 80s? They're at the top of their craft. They're amazing, but they never understood the business model. And they never had a collector list, and they never marketed to a collector list. And now their offline revenue sources as a result of the pandemic have dried up and gone bye-bye, and you have no one to market to. You don't have a collector list. So you're essentially not even selling at all. So when's the best time to plant an oak tree 30 years ago? What's the next best time today? So if you're not working on a collector list, if you don't have one, if you're not cultivating it, it's like you're going into a fight with one arm tied behind your back. And I just recorded an episode on this. We have this show called Art Business Mornings. It's on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram. It's everywhere. But I want you to listen to this. It's a 26-minute episode after the fact. It's just absolutely fantastic. And people are telling me I'm having some audio issues. Can you guys hear me okay? You can? Johnny, you can? Roy, you can? Okay. Somebody else was telling me on Facebook too. I had to turn my volume up, but okay. It should be on your end then, Tom, if everyone else can hear me. Anyway, I want you guys, honestly, to listen to this episode, okay, and start cultivating one. It is critically important. Next, after we are taking care of our attention, we now understand our business model. We now understand our collector list. There are 3 ways to sell art and photography, okay? Every single solitary working artist, working photographer in today's day and age needs to understand the 3 and needs to leverage the 3 where applicable, okay? Number 1, it's the best way. What is the best way? Trick question. You guys already know what it is. It's in person, face to face, okay? Always has been, always will be. When you have the opportunity to sell your art, sell your photography, you want to do it in person, face to face. Problem though, we are all of us geographically fixed on this planet. We have to sleep and we can't have 15 conversations at once. So we have to have a website. So the number 2 way to sell art, the worst way, not kidding, is on your website. Still need one, okay? You still have to have one, because it solves for those all important use cases, but it's actually the worst way of the 3. The third way is the newest way, okay? It is the most interesting breakthrough in the art industry, okay, in forever, okay? That's as far as what I would call it. And what's more, the entire world is all trying to figure it out at once right now as we speak. What is it? It's via live video. It's exactly what we're doing right now in either a one-to-one fashion or a one-to-many. What would be a one-to-one fashion? I come to Shauna's website or I see Shauna's Instagram profile and I'm like, Shauna, that piece is really interesting. Can we jump on a Zoom and have you show it to me and talk about it and talk about what the options are and the pricings and maybe show me some of your other work? And Shauna's like, yeah, no problem, Patrick. And she books a Zoom call. And we jump into a Zoom call and I get to meet the artist. And she's telling me about her inspiration and some of her backgrounds and some of the things she's into. She's showing me the piece and I end up buying it. That's the one-to-one fashion. What about one-to-many? So one-to-many is where we leverage this concept of a live art show, okay? And in this case, I'm just going to show you an example. And by the way, I'm going to send you links to all of these things so you can watch them after the fact. But here you have an artist in his garage studio, okay, holding up pieces of his work, talking about them, merchandising them, and he's having a sale. And he's got multiple different pieces and he's streaming this live to Facebook, and he's streaming it live to YouTube, and then he's streaming it live to his Facebook personal page, and he's also streaming it live to Instagram, okay? And what I'm about to show you here is not just going to be about the 3rd best way of selling art. It's going to show you what differentiates us, art storefronts, from every single solitary other outfit out there, or in comparison to any other website company. So we ran 2 of these sales with this gentleman, Matthew Locka, and it was over a period of 15 days. And over the period of 15 days, he ended up selling 62 pieces for a little bit over $30,000 Canadian. And we saw those results and we're like, whoa, these are pretty extraordinary. If they're this extraordinary, let's go see if we can duplicate them. And I forgot to have her Meg's deal here. Just bear with me, guys. So Meg makes art. So what do? We grabbed our next customer, right? And we said, okay, if we could do that with Matthew, can we do it with Meg? And so we ran one with Meg. And in Meg's case, let me just mute this, and then I can just play it. Same situation, okay? In her basement. She was moving studios from one studio to another studio. And so she had a bunch of color studies and smaller pieces, and she ran a basement sale, okay? And just to underscore, by the way, my collector list assumption from earlier, she had 82 pieces in this particular sale that she ran, right? And you can see there's smaller pieces, color studies, sketches. There were some decent-sized ones at the tail end of it. She ran the show on Wednesday. She emailed her collector list on Monday. Her collector list bought 46% of the show before it even went live. Never underestimate the power of a collector list. Anyway, in her case, we were able to duplicate some incredible results. These were smaller pieces, but she ended up selling, I believe, all told on this show, I think she sold 70 of the 80 so pieces for $13,000 US. So there's another incredible result, right? So where do we go from there? We're like, okay, if that's the case, let's go run as many of these things as we can and see what happens. Ran another one. This was 2 weeks ago now. Artist from California, her name's Debbie Arambula. She had absolutely incredible results. I think she sold 24 pieces on her particular show. And then the next day, we ran yet another one. This is Carol Parker. She's a horse photographer living in Colorado. has some incredible work. Ran a live art show with her as well. Similar, pretty strong results. And this was a different case because it was a photographer in this instance. And this is what sets us apart from anyone else. This is the future, full stop, of selling art, of selling photography. The entire world is trying to figure it out right now, right? And what makes us different than anyone else? We are rapidly iterating and testing and getting these things in the water and teaching our customers and learning what's the best way to do it. What are the best ins and outs? No one ever even contemplates the tradecraft of it all. But in this particular instance, why are there numbers? There's numbers because we're using software to stream to her YouTube account. We're using software to stream to her Facebook account, her other Facebook account, I believe her Twitter account. She's got earbuds in, which you can't see, which is connected to her phone, which is doing Instagram. So we're able to use text overlays on the screen, number 4, West Coast Study, like you see there, and our logo, Kelly Corbett. And that doesn't work for Instagram. So you got to have the numbers so that people can bid on them. So what does the technology look like? How do you announce it? What does the email blast look like? And on and on and on. This is the type of tradecraft that we're figuring out that everyone is trying to figure out all at once. And your guys' industry is not one that comes out with a ton of reports, okay? There's 2 companies that put them out on a yearly basis. One is by Art Basel and UBS. They have this thing called the Art Market Report 2021. Again, I'm going to send you links on it. This thing is awesome. As a quick sort of disclaimer on this, whether it's this report or the other one, which is the Hiscox report, they really only survey the top 5% of the art market, like the very best-selling artists, and then, the thousands that are right underneath them. So you have to take it with a grain of salt, but let's just go to the key findings section of this report, okay? Oh, lovely. Page not found, of course. Lame. Maybe they took it down. Or it's just having a derp out moment. All right, let's see if I can just download the report. See if that works. It's a really cool report though, and it's really, really interesting. We'll see what the table of contents says. So online sales, the art market. Let me see if I can get there. It's not going to let me quote the one line that I was looking for. But essentially, what they say in here, maybe it will. On dealers, new buyers. Shoot, I can't find the quote. I don't know why that thing is derping out. But anyway, I'm going to send you a link to the report. But what they say in this particular report is one of the most staggering developments of 2020 is the big auction houses, the big art dealers started doing what they call OVRs. OVRs are online viewing rooms. Online viewing rooms is a snazzy way to say a Zoom call, exactly what we're on right now. And a tremendous amount of art, even at the very, very top end of the market, was being moved as a result of private showings to high net worth individuals and collectors, all via Zoom sessions and talking with the artist. So it doesn't matter if you've not sold a single piece of art in your entire life, or if you are at the very, very top of the market. Everyone is trying to figure out this new live video piece, and it is such a game changer. I can't even begin to tell you. One of the things that you realize is everything that we do, digitally speaking, when we're attempting to sell art or photography, is just trying to mimic the best way to sell art, period, right? So what is that? It's in-person, face-to-face. So let's just sort of string this along and track with me on it for a second. So the best way to sell art would be having your own gallery in your own town. You're in there, people can come in, they can meet with you, they can talk about the art, they can get to know you, know, like, and trust can happen, and they can come back in and see it when they want to see it, all of those various different things, right? So that's the best way to sell art. The next best way to sell art is absolutely just bringing those people into that gallery via live video. And just to punctuate this, I'll show you an example. The artist that I referenced earlier, this guy Matthew Laka. So in the middle of COVID, he actually had a show booked, okay? And it was in an actual gallery in Canada where he's from, but obviously COVID restrictions are in place, so no one can, and I'll get myself out of this one for a sec. So no one can show up to the show. So what did he do? He had the show, minimal attendance. What did he do the very next day? Cameras got turned on, same technology, AirPods in, phone connected to Instagram, laptop following him around. I'm not going to go into all the tradecraft of how it all goes. But look what he's done here, okay? He is just walking through the gallery, walking through the actual gallery show that he had, showing the pieces exactly like you were in there, right? exactly like you were in there. And the software allows for comments to come directly into the stream. So people are asking him questions. And as a result of the show, after the show, he actually sold an additional couple of pieces. Now, again, this was in a gallery. So sadly, he was on a 50-50 split with the gallery owner on this one. But it's just an absolutely amazing way to do it. And when you think about it, and going back to my analogy, it's like, okay, best way to sell art, in person, face to face. Gallery model is the best way to think about that. Next best way, invite them right into the gallery. Invite the people right into the gallery. People from all over the world are viewing the show, coming right into the gallery. Okay, what's the third way? The worst way? The website. You know what that's like? That would be like the gallery in town with the doors open and no one's there to help them. Come on in, see what you want, right? But no one's there to help them. Again, the website is critically important, but it's the worst way. This new way is absolutely the future, okay? And it's not just art and photography. The entire e-commerce selling world is trying to figure this out at once. And what you're going to notice over the next couple of days, especially that I've put you onto this now, assuming you weren't there already, if you go onto Amazon now, do you know what's happening on Amazon? You'll look at an item in the store, and then below it, there'll be a live video going where somebody's selling the item, okay, or talking about the item. So Amazon's working on it. Facebook's working on it. Snapchat's working on it. TikTok's working. Everyone is trying to figure out this live commerce portion and how it is going to forever change things. And so it's the future. And it's one of the things that I am most proud about that we are doing as a business at Art Storefronts, because let me tell you, it's very, very easy to screw this entire thing up. There's a whole lot of moving pieces. I mean, I'll give you a for instance, which really makes me laugh every time I see it. This is another one that we ran with Matthew. Do you notice, I don't know if it's going to come through, but do you notice that the quality's crappy? You want to know why the quality's crappy? His partner was upstairs streaming Netflix while the damn show was going on. So there you go. These are the types of things that you need to learn when you're starting to run these things. Your significant other and or kids cannot be binge watching Netflix when you're trying to have a live art show, okay? So there's just all kinds of tradecraft that go into the entire process. So I'm really, really passionate about it. I'm passionate about what we're doing with it. Let me finish the pyramid. So the top block is everything else, okay? What do I mean by everything else? Perhaps you have some additional revenue sources for your business that are working. It could be you have some retail galleries that are still going. Fantastic. We love them. Never met a revenue source I don't like, okay? We love revenue sources. But guess what? It's in addition and after you're working on attention. It's in addition and after you're leveraging the 3 ways to sell art and you're selling direct and building your collector list. So it's everything else. Don't care if it's the show and thair circuit. Love the show and thair circuit. Can't wait for that to come back. Hope it's going to come back roaring better than ever. But it's in addition to working on attention, in addition to the 3 ways of selling art. And so to online galleries, maybe you're on a Saatchi or a Fine Art America or Redbubble or Etsy or eBay. I don't care what it is. It's everything else on the top block, okay? And that is the art selling pyramid. That is the entire ballgame. And one of the things that I love about it more than anything else, again, I'm having these calls all the time, talking to people all the time. Do you know what I noticed conclusively? Artists and photographers do not have midlife crises. What do I mean? You don't just wake up one day at like 40 and you're like, you know what? I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to go be a construction worker. It's what I always wanted to do, work in the sun. No. You guys are artists or photographers through life. It never goes away. So when you contemplate, okay, that week in, week out on these calls, people on these calls now in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. I get people on a regular basis that are in their 90s, okay? Not regular basis, but like 2 a month, okay, that are in their 90s. And they come out and they're talking to me about their business and where they are. So when you understand the perspective of how much longer you guys have to go at this and build a business, okay, and cultivate a collector list, it just becomes so clear about how important that pyramid is. It is the entire ballgame, okay? It is everything. Those pre-pandemic that understood this business model, okay, that had a collector list, that had an email list, that had a social following, boom, the pandemic hit, and overnight, the perfect storm, the most perfect storm that will probably ever happen in the history of the art market, happened, and it's now on the wane. And what was that? You had all of the available locations and venues to buy art almost disappeared overnight, aside from the digital ones, right? All of the galleries pretty much closed down. The show and thair circuit, done, gone. So all of those places to buy art, just gone. So half the places that you could have bought art before and photography before are closed. In addition to that, you have, sorry, sometimes it's really hard to get my hands going on this thing. In addition to that, everyone's at home. Everyone's working from their home offices. They are finally so sick of their blank white walls, they want to put something up. They're finally so sick of not having a cool Zoom background, they were finally buying art. Well, guess what? Who capitalized on it? The people that had a collector list, the people that understood the business model, the people that had been marketing. And we had some of our customers having the biggest years of their entire lives because they understood the business model and they were in the right spot. So that pyramid, you will live or die by that pyramid, okay? Anything where you do not keep your customer information, that you cannot market to your people in perpetuity, that can you not build a collector list, I don't understand how you build a sustainable business. And let me tell you, week in, week out, it breaks my heart, okay? People are on this call and they're like, Patrick, I had a robust career for years and years and years. I was selling at this gallery. I was selling at that gallery. I was doing the show and their circuit. The pandemic hit and all of it went away. And I'll say, like, did you keep any of your information on your customers? No, I never did. And it's not a condemnation of them, okay? That's just sort of how the industry was. That was a normal thing. But that's a terrifying thing to see, right? Like, I don't ever want to see that happen again. And, you know, the analogy that I give, the way that I think about it, it's sort of like I'm on the call here, okay? And I've been working a long time on how to sell art and photography. I understand what actually does it. And I'm talking to somebody who's 65, 70 years old. And it's my analogy is like, the advice I'm about to give you, you right now are in the executive office, the floor to ceiling windows, the big desk, the comfy chair. And I'm telling you, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to get out of that comfy chair. And you're gonna have to go back and push the mail cart around, okay? Because you have to learn how to do all this and start doing it. And that's a terrifying thing to say, right? And that might apply directly to some of you guys on this call right now. But it's the future. It's how art and photography is moving. The industry is getting massively disrupted. And that pyramid forms the basis of how you succeed. That stretched out over time and the score, it takes care of itself. It takes care of itself. So that's my rant. That is my rant, and I'm sticking to it. So what we'll do next is open it up to Q&A, and it can be about anything that we do. It can be about whatever you're struggling in your business, any questions you have at all. If you are one of the brave ones, how do you ask a question? If you're one of the brave ones that has your camera on, you can do the old school hand raise. I'll see that, members of my team, and then we'll just unmute you. But there's I think it's a reactions button. There's at the bottom of the Zoom window, there's like a reactions bar. What that allows you to do is digitally raise your hand, and it'll put you in a queue, and I can just, you know, turn off the mic, unmute you, bring you on for a question, go down that way. If you don't want to have your camera on, totally get it. I hate being on video. I despise it. So if you want to keep your camera off and just ask via audio, totally cool. We have a chat at the bottom of the Zoom too, you can see. And, you know, I can see these chats and we can bring them right in and people can ask questions in there. Like, Michelle, I see you've got a question here. So you can do that as well. And if you're one of the ones that are watching on the socials, you know, I see those comments too. So if you want to leave a comment on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, I see those, and I can get them going. Hi, Janine. Hi, Kim, and Tarisha. I can answer that question too. So yeah, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Who's got a question? Cameras on? Anyone? Crickets? Am I gonna have to push and break the thing? Michelle, I'm gonna bring you on first, because you have a good question, and I know you've been on a couple of these. I'm unmuting you now, Michelle. Are you there? I'll get you next, Roy.
Hi, Patrick. I'm here.
Yep. Okay. So what's your question exactly? Because I don't want to read all this because I'm lazy.
Well, you showed
Oh, yeah. How many viewers? How many viewers? Yeah. Total mixed bag. You know, this won't make sense to most people, but the whole entire process, here's how I'd explain it, okay? Everyone's tendency is to focus on the live art show portion, okay, of the thing, and contemplate that like that's the main course of the meal, right? If the whole marketing activity of running one of these live art shows is a meal, everyone thinks the live art show is the main dish, right? Is the main dish. Nothing could be further than the truth. And this is one of these things that we figured out. It's not like going to a restaurant where you order a main. It's like going to a tapas bar or just ordering appetizers. Each little dish of the entire sale is as important as the live show. The live show is just one little portion of it. It's how you tease it. It's how you announce it. It's how you send it to your collectors first. Then it's how you sell all the way up to the show. And then it's the show. And then it's what you do afterwards. All of it equally important. All of it massively important to getting the results. So That's what I would say.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Patrick, can you see me?
No, I cannot see you.
Oh, okay, something is weird with my camera. All right.
Yeah, it's yeah, that it's showing. Yeah, it's showing you have one, but no, I'm not seeing your cell. Sorry, I should probably do that too. But thank you for the question.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, it's gonna go Roy, then Amanda. All right, Roy, gotcha. Go ahead, Roy. You'll need to unmute. I'll let you know when you get it. Yep.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I was on your session. I think it was on Friday.
Yeah. Welcome back. I remember you.
Jazzed. The more I think about it, the more jazzed up I get. So this is over the weekend, trying to understand a little more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the greatest spokesperson.
Yeah.
As far hey, this is my art, and the whole emotional cell, showing them the picture, the frame, tactile,
Mm-hmm.
seeing it, feeling it,
Mm-hmm.
showing it on their wall. But I have a friend who is a natural person to sell. I mean, she's built a very successful business, and she volunteered. She'll be my spokesperson.
Amazing.
Right? Mm-hmm. I don't know how good how long that could go on for. What if, this, which I like. I like the idea of having someone, this QVC type figurehead,
Mm-hmm.
because I think people buy from. They buy your art. They buy from the emotion. People buy from people,
Mm-hmm.
and she is just wonderful at that.
Yes.
I could use her, and I think that would be a big differentiator.
Yes.
And do you have a service where you have spokespeople? I mean, you provide a lot of services. I don't know if to say, hey, well, we have someone that you can contract with that, it's got a great camera presence, and
yeah.
And so that's my question, because I think that's going to be an effective way to get this out there. This person.
We do on the live art shows, because one of the things that's interesting about them is, let me just get one pulled up so I can kind of show you.
Sure.
It's first of all, running these things for the first time is mega unnerving just to begin with, right? For all humans, period, full stop. When you add in the complication of the technology, right, which is, the software, one, it allows you to change the names on the pieces, right? And two, if comments come in, it allows you to highlight the comments, right? And then three, unless you're really, really comfortable with video, unless you're really, really experienced and just good at it, it's a hard thing to do in isolation for anybody. So what ends up happening is we offer this service. We're, for lack of a better word, we're the wizard behind the curtain, right? So we're driving the software for you, but then also we're talking to you and saying, so-and-so has a question about this, right? And highlighting the comments that make sense and just doing that behind the scenes. Now, my feeling is that it's going to get to a point where once you've been through it a couple of times, you start to get really comfortable. You could totally do it on your own. You can totally laugh at yourself and have a great time. And those are the best shows. Like, it doesn't need to be as formal as you think. So you would do all of the above, right? You would bring that gal in after you've run a couple of them and see how she would do. And you could have awesome banter back and forth and see what that would look like. Again, I'm going to send you these, but the one I want you to watch, which I think is so interesting, is Meg's. So, Meg has, everyone's got a different set of circumstances that are unique to them. And I got to pull it up. Sometimes I got to forget to do this. It's Monday. In her case, her brother is a videographer. That's his business. He's got like a video business, right? So he was the one running the camera in hers. And you can't see it, but over here on the right-hand side is her husband, right? And they're chiming back and forth and chirping at each other and having a drink and laughing at each other. And she's dropping some things, and like the kids are coming running downstairs. And people just love that stuff. They love it. It's so endearing. Like, it's such an amazing part of just of the whole experience, right? So, in your case, she's gonna take you out of your comfort zone, poke you and prod you a little bit, right? On like, what was the inspiration for this piece? Where'd you take it? And it'll make you so much more comfortable. So I don't necessarily think you would need her 100% of the time, but yeah, the situation could be interesting. But I think what's curious that we've been joking about just inside baseball is like, do you know how many top salespeople at galleries are unemployed right now? What if we brought a couple of them in, right, and saw what that would look like? So we've thought about it, but we're still, it's still so early on that we're just working out all like the, the operational kinks and every time so we have these sessions internally with our customers too, right? And every time one of my customers does one, and they're so happy, they're like, oh my God, I was so nervous, and I completely dropped the phone halfway through, right? And I spilled the red wine, but I made it through. And my response is always the same. It's like, wonderful, I'm so proud of you. Now go do 1,000 of them. That's how many of them you're going to be doing. Go do 1,000 of them, because they're just that effective, And I got to get permission from some of those ones that we ran recently to share the numbers. But I can say, like, how I'm doing it in a spreadsheet is like I'm getting their numbers on what the sale did, and then I'm taking their year-to-date numbers before the show. And in many cases, these are not normal art selling holidays, right? It's not like it's Father's Day or Mother's Day or Black Friday or Cyber Monday. We're making a sale about a whole cloth, calling it a basement sale or an open studio sale, and in some cases they're generating like 30 to 40% of what they've done all year long in one sale. And it's just, you look at that and it's like staggering to contemplate. So we're just over the moon on the whole thing. So very long way of saying, yeah, we're contemplating it. And if we found like a superstar salesperson, we might seriously consider hiring them just to have that available. But what we do now is we have one service in the agency for the whole thing, all the marketing, all of it. And then we have another one just to run the show with you. But it really, like, even me, I'm like mega comfortable on video now because I've had to do it for so long. Like, crap, there's a lot of moving pieces.
You don't have to be in the same location.
No, absolutely not.
Salesperson could be in
Anywhere.
Florida.
Anywhere.
We can banter back and forth. She can make fun of, hey, turn the piece upside down. You're holding the piece rolling. Turn the piece the other way.
Yep.
She could be selling, and we can have that relationship like Chip and Joanna Gain.
Yep.
Where I'm the artist and she's the salesperson, and there's a synergy between us. But that could be great from your standpoint, having someone.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. You want to laugh at this, Roy? So a lot of times our customer, like, people think I'm kidding. Like, the plane is taken off and we are building this damn thing in the air because everyone's trying to figure it out right now, right? And like, I laugh. Like, look at the top one. So Kim is a customer, right? And she's like, would you consider doing a live show with me, Patrick? Like, everyone needs the help. Like, even Kim does. And yes, Kim, we would. You can send Steph an email and say, I really want to run a live show, Kim. We'll run one with you. The abstraction of this is like, guys, this is absolutely the future. It's the future right now. The whole world is trying to figure it out. And the ones that win are going to be the ones that fire the most arrows, right? You have to just get the experience of it. And like, we're learning more and more and more every single one we're running. So yes to all the above, Roy.
Yeah, because it's got to be, differentiated, as well as a lot of other things. You've got to have great artwork, but yeah, I wanted an angle or a hook.
Yes.
Where that can work. But now you're tied to someone, and now she can't, all of a sudden, she's off doing something else. Now I don't have access.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's, the danger is in thinking that there's any one way to do this. Think golf clubs. That's what these things are. Think golf clubs, right? Like, you have to have a bag full, and there's all these various different ways to do it. And whether it's a flash sale on just one media type, right? Like, you're a photographer, say you're going to be like, look, guys, I am doing, and you want to see how real this is? Watch it. I love acrylic, guys. It's one of my favorite, and obviously for you, my green screen making it look a little circusy. But I love acrylic, guys. One of my favorite media types, thick, ready to hang. And guess what? I know you guys all need to freshen up the damn art in your bathroom. So starting tomorrow, I'm having the bathroom sale. Only on acrylic prints, only for today. Here's what the deal is. Let's tune up that bathroom, okay? Your guests have been complaining. Can we get some good art in there, honestly? And there you go. So what shot was that, right? That wasn't a complete live art show. That was just a one-off day of bathroom sale, right? So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no, it's. And then the last question is, let's say I wanted if I wanted to bring on someone that works with me now, I have a business, and let's say I want to bring him on full time, and he's good. He's a rock solid hunter, sales executive. He brings in business for me now. I close my clients, and again, I've been doing my business 25 years. I want to do my photography. That's my passion. I'm 50, as I said earlier.
Yeah.
59. In my last number of years, I want to sell stuff that makes me happy. It's a part of me, right? Have you seen business models that involve, bringing on a person like to divide and conquer? right? So if you had a person at your disposal, you're going to do the mark, how would you break up the task between two smart people, one that's a tactical sales guy and me that's more strategic?
Yeah.
I guess
So,
that's the question.
so you launching this photography business is going to be climbing Everest. You're asking me what we're going to do once we get to base camp level 3. Start climbing. Start climbing to get to base camp level 1, right? Everything will change.
If I make a commitment, there's no failure, right? So if I decide we're going to do this,
Yeah.
it's 1,000%. And a lot of people don't look at it that way.
No, I love that you're looking at it that way. But what I'm saying is that you've got so many things to worry about in the short term that that one will become clear when you get to it. Like you cross that bridge when you get to it. In the meantime, it's like get it going, get momentum, get some revenue coming in. Okay, here's what the revenue picture looks like. Okay, now we've got some variables that we can actually talk about that would give the thing some teeth, rather than just conjecture early on. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff you got to do first.
Okay, that's reasonable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But I love your commitment.
I have more questions because I think everyone should. If you want to do this as a business, you're just beaming with questions. But I'll try to not be selfish. For
sure. Did you already schedule a test drive too, by the way?
No, that's my next step. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, because it'll what's good about it when I say a test drive, you guys, we use the demo process, but the way I think about it, it's like test driving the car. Like, the software, the back end, all the stuff that we have so many bells and whistles, it's crazy. So the full demo, what we call test drive, goes like about an hour, and you get one-on-one. They talk about your art. They look into what you do. You can answer all the questions. It's intimate and everything else. And if you like what you see, great, you sign up. If not, they'll never call you again. So it's not like this high pressure sell thing. It's a way to test drive the car and see it. So yeah, I think you should do that one next, right?
One thing I want to plug you guys because you're super aggressive. Aggressive is not a negative thing; it's a positive thing. Ever since I looked into this, I'm getting hit by you guys. I don't mind it because it's top of mind for me.
Mm-hmm.
But you have figured out a way to get your digital marketing methods to get in front of me and stay in front of me are incredible, and that's probably the biggest driver of me saying I want a company like that. That's going to be fun.
Yeah. We know what we're doing. Step 1, get that solved. We've got that solved. Step 2, teach you to do the same thing. That's it. And then never stop doing the same thing. To your earlier point, because this whole ball game is about consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Roy.
Thanks.
Okay, Amanda, you're up next. Amanda is a very efficient artist. I could see her multitasking, listening, painting, and getting it going.
Actually, I decided to just listen in. Patrick, I think you've your whole mission has been incredible. I have a background in marketing at Nike, who they brilliant marketers.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing art, and you're spot on, totally spot on. And I would say just as testimonials for everybody here that the face-to-face and doing these live these live art shows in your studio is definitely the wave of the future.
Yeah.
The first one I did, I sold a whole bunch of work, and I ended up hiring my current marketing team. One of them is a collector of mine who is a VP of marketing at a health in healthcare that I could never ever afford, and she brought in her team. And we're bartering for services because she doesn't really want money. She just wants to help me. So I'm paying her in art. So you just never know where these, the gifts of having a live show can bring you, right? In terms of what it can do.
How did you run? How did you run yours out of curiosity?
Through Zoom.
Through Zoom.
So
Mm-hmm.
I did a Zoom call. I promoted it to my list.
Mm-hmm.
Promoted it on social media, and instead of doing a festival,
mm-hmm.
I kind of had, hey, here's the advantage of today's situation, where instead of us as artists going to you can come to us,
yeah.
right? And you can see my studio, my messy studio, and my inspiration and my process. I'll pull out my pastels and my oil paints right here and show you my inspiration, and walk through a piece 3-dimensionally. So that, I mean, they're definitely successful. You know, as artists, successful artists, and I teach a class called Passion to Profit, which is all about how to make money in art. And I use you guys as like the go-to Bible. Like if you guys want to learn something, you need to go to Art Storefronts. You got to talk to Patrick, and you got to listen to his podcast. And
I love that.
you know,
Thank you.
so huge proponent and you know fan. Um, and you know, it's the challenge in today's world is that it's more than just putting together a website and having your mailing list, right? I mean, marketing involves so much about, you know, getting your traffic out there and getting your name out there. And, you know, as you were talking about, it's like exposure, exposure, exposure. It's, you know, posting on social media 3 times a week on 3 or 4 different platforms. And not only doing the organic, but doing some paid. And so my question to you really is knowing that I feel like I'm doing all the right things, I feel like I'm also still doing it half-assed because I don't have a blog. And how important a blog is to increase your traffic flow and to really tell that long story that you're not going to even have a chance to tell in a live show or, you know, on these, you know, on a new monthly newsletter, or even, you know, these sound bites that you have in social media, you know, 3 or 4 times a week. And my other question is like, then how important is it to really pay for the paid advertising?
Yeah. Good questions. Good questions, both. I mean, the blogging one is kind of an open-ended one, right? Like it depends. It depends on, you're going to commit to it. You're going to be good at it. Are you going to be able to create content that actually works? You know, I don't necessarily think organic traffic works for most artists. So this notion that you're going to end up building up a tremendous amount of search engine traffic, it just doesn't happen anymore. The arbitrage in search is gone. So I would just wipe that off your head. There's ways that you can do it without even having a blog. And yeah, Barbara, I see your question. We have blogging software on ours. It's not as robust as WordPress, but we've got it too. But you know, there's a whole lot of people that blog long form on Facebook and do great with it. Right, they're writing diatribes. Right, it's a little bit harder to embed the imagery. So you can take baby steps. But what I would say, the abstraction of paid traffic, okay, is number one, and it sounds like you're there, but no one ever understands this. There's 2 things. Number one is people think, just based on everything else that's out there, that the way that art and photography sells is you put an image, 40%, sale ends Friday, and people are just randomly running around on the social media saying, oh, I don't need art today, or you know what, I'm going to buy a piece of art today, or they're buying it spur of the moment. Nothing could be further from the truth. Art almost never sells that way at all. Meaning you can't just advertise it like every other product, right? Like we're flicking your thumb through Instagram and you see a pair of pants that you can spill water on. Ooh, I don't know why I would need a pair of pants you could spill water on, but I just saw that ad, I'm going to buy it, right? Nobody buys art spur of the moment. Not the way that it works at all, in the slightest. They need to be exposed to your art. They need to follow you on Instagram. They need to eventually get onto your email list. They need to go through one sale. Guess what? Then they just, God forbid, they broke up and they moved into their own apartment. Now they need art. That's when it sells, right? So no one understands that. And everyone gets into the ads thinking it's a slot machine that you're going to put $1 in and $5 are going to come out because, you know, this weekend, 48 hours only. And then they're going to go after cold audiences. Audiences and traffic on Facebook come 2 varietals, cold and warm. Cold, it's like walking into a bar. You've never met anyone. That's cold traffic, right? So if you just walked into a bar and you've never met anyone before, do you go right up to somebody and say, hi, my name's Amanda, buy my art right now, on sale, next 48 hours? No, you don't, right? You say, hey, I'm Amanda, how are you doing? What's your name? You get to know them, right? So then that's what a warm audience is. But going back to the advertising, this is not publicized, and you've heard me say this before, but I'll say it again for everyone else. It's not publicized, but there is a free plan and a paid plan for Facebook and for Instagram, okay? And all the free plan and paid plan is showing ads to your warm audiences. Let me define that succinctly. The warm audiences are people that have visited your website. It's your email list. It's your engagement audience on Facebook. It's your engagement audience on Instagram, okay? That is your warm audience. They've all had some sort of exposure to you before. And all you do is you run your latest posts to those folks in perpetuity. It never comes off. $5 to $10 a day gets it done. Why do we do that? All we're doing that to do is go back to the good old days when I would follow Amanda's page on Facebook and I would see 100% of the posts that she posted. That's how it was originally. And then now it's like less than 2% organically. So all you're doing is just paying Facebook and Instagram to take you back to the good old days. That only works though if you're actually doing your marketing consistently. Okay. And I say, like, you're in no position to start spending money on Facebook or Instagram ads until you're capturing emails consistently, you're regularly emailing the emails, you're regularly posting on the socials, you're running live art shows from time to time, and you're having sales when the time is right and you understand the mechanics of a sale, how it all works, how you announce it, how to omni-channel market the message. Once you have that in place, then you're in a position, okay, where you can actually run the warm ads. Okay. And the way that I like, because I realize this is complicated for most people. Amanda, I'm doing my marketing. Okay. And Amanda is not doing her marketing. And the way to think about it is we both have fishing boats. Okay. Same boat, same captain. And we're both going to go fishing at the exact same time, steam out to sea, right? Because you're not doing your marketing, all you have on your boat is one fishing pole. And you steam out to the ocean, okay? And you throw that pole in the water, and there weren't any fish there that day, so you didn't catch anything. You came home empty-handed. Me, I've got multiple different fishing rods. I've got nets. I've got lobster pots. I've got kites. I've got harpoons. I go out, I'm coming back with seafood, okay? And you know, everyone thinks that you can somehow justify an ROI from your advertising if you're not doing all the marketing. And guess what? That's going out to sea with the one line in the back of the boat. I need you to have the same equipment that I have. That comes from doing your regular, consistent marketing. Once you do that, then you're in a position, okay, to actually see an ROI from it. So we arbitrarily, because it's hard to do, set a revenue threshold of like $2,500 before you even contemplate, you know, that you sold $2,500 direct from your website and that you're doing your marketing consistently. Once that happens, the Facebook and Instagram ads are no different than the cable bill at your studio. It's no different than the power bill. It is a monthly fee. It does not ever stop. You write that check for the year, it's done.
So let's say I'm doing all the right organic things. I'm doing my emails, I'm doing my weekly marketing. I'm doing some live shows, just sold 3 huge pieces this weekend to, again, direct.
Yep.
Customer came to my studio, brought a friend, and I did a group discount. Hey, 3 or more, I'll give you 15% off. She ended up buying a piece. They all won, right?
Yep.
I think what I'm hearing you say is it's probably time for me to, or anybody really, who's doing this, the next step is to add to my marketing budget $35 to $70 a month for paid advertising, to keep my name out there, to keep my word out there.
To go back to the good old days when everyone saw your posts. Yes. Yep.
Okay, because even though I have posts, it doesn't mean that even my warm or hot audiences are seeing them, because they might be checking everything every day.
No one's seen them. One, they're not showing them like they used to, not even close. Number 2, not everybody's online all the time, right? And I go back to the fishing analogy. You know what's weird too is, like, don't get me wrong, I love fishing. Like, I grew up fishing, but I haven't gone fishing in so long. I don't know why I'm stuck in these fishing analogies. But here's the way that it works.
You need a vacation, huh?
Yeah. I have young children. They're driving me nuts. Everyone thinks, okay, and this is when I say everyone, just human beings. We think that every email that we send and every post and every sale, 100% of our customers see it, right? And where this often comes up is like, Patrick, are you telling me to send 2 emails in 1 week? Are you nuts? Are you crazy? I can't do that. I just emailed the list, right? Or any other degree of fear there. By the way, you want to see some people who are not scared about emailing too much? Any of you guys on our email list? We are ridiculous. I don't know anyone that sends more email than us, okay? But that's because of this analogy. So the boat, right? What do we think as humans? We think that we drive that boat out to sea, our email or our sale or our marketing message is our bait, and we throw that in the water, and we think in our minds, all the fish are right under the boat. They all saw it. Nothing could be further than the truth. The fish are 3,000 feet down. The fish are all the way down the coast, right? The fish are nowhere near. And so what it comes down to is you never know when the fish are going to be at the surface. You just never know, right? None of us know. You're always trying to find them. So, okay, if we never know when the fish are going to be at the surface, how do we maximize our operation for the most ROI? You make sure you always have a line in the water. That's what the warm ads do. You always have a line in the water. People are always seeing it no matter what, right? I mean, you go to why am I blanking on his name? Roy, that we talked to earlier. Did you hear what he said? How telling was that? He's like, you guys are just top of mind everywhere. I can't go anywhere in my digital day without seeing you again and again and again and again. I don't know when Roy's going to be at the surface, but I'll tell you what, I've got a doggone line in the water when he is.
You just don't want your unsubscribe rate to increase.
Oh, I could care less about the unsubscribe rate. Those people are never going to buy anyway. And even if they do, it doesn't matter. They're still in my warm audiences. They still see my ads. Could care less about the unsubscribe rate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's good to hear about. Like, there's a fear there, I think. And a lot of us feel that way. You know, like, I don't want to like bombard you because I do want your email. So I
no one's
won't
seen
bombard
it.
you.
Yeah, no one's seen it. No one's seen it. They didn't see it. They're busy. They're watching cat videos. Okay. You went into the spam filter. Like, people don't understand. That's just the part of the game. But this is why we exist. It's what we teach all year long. Why are you not signed up, by the way?
Well, here's the rub.
Yeah.
I do have a meeting in 5 minutes, but I'm not signed up because in the fine print, you guys do take % on all sales, not just print sales. And so, I mean, I've talked to all these sales guys. It's like, if I could buy a la carte what I needed to buy, I already have my website's designed, right? And I already do on e-commerce. And so if I make a sale, I don't want to split that with you, right? Like, honestly, I'm just like, here's the rub, right?
Yeah.
If I make a sale with you, yeah, absolutely, you get your %. But if I'm making a sale through a gallery or through my own through my own marketing, I want 100% of that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I like what some of the other, the other people were asking is like, wow, do you do all these a la carte? Can you hire an expert to kind of help me with the video? If there's more a la carte offerings, right now it's a all or none. And
there's a bunch of ways and I want to finish it before you go to your meeting. There's a bunch of ways that you can sell direct where you don't have to pay us any commission. So that's a table issue, but more important than that, rather than shying away from it, is we realized that if we don't have successful customers, we're never going to have a business. And what does every artist do? They go from one website to another website to another website, back to another website to a marketplace, and they never get anywhere because no one has a website problem. No one has a marketplace problem. They all have a marketing problem. So that's the thing that we have to fix. Okay, well, how do you fix that? How do you fix that? Understanding the goalposts in today's day and age moves so damn fast. I mean, I had a gal ask me last week, like, Patrick, should I go and get an art degree? Do I need that for legitimacy to sell? I was like, no, you don't need that. Number one, you need a marketing degree. Problem with a marketing degree, okay, is by the time the textbook is printed, 50% of it's out of date. The ink's not even dry, right? So everything that we charge just goes towards paying for nonstop marketing support for everything that we do for life. For life. You come in, you sign up, and there is every type of education imaginable, including in-person teachings, for life. It will never stop, ever. Yes, there's a calendar that tells you what to do 365 days a year, right? Yes, there's DIY education that's constantly getting updated with all the latest and greatest. Yes, there's Zoom sessions like these where you come on, you get yourself unstuck. Yes, there is tech support where we will support you on Facebook, Instagram, your email service provider, and the website. All of that stuff that we do, because that's what it takes to create successful customers. And so,
well, maybe you need an OVR like a subsidiary here where it's just going to help people create their own online viewing rooms, and as another bucket that you can add to your a la carte offerings. I'm just like throwing some ideas out, but I think that to bring the fishing analogy back, you guys more than anyone else out there are committed to not only getting your customers, but to training them. And it's sort of like, we all want to just buy it, like just help me, I'll pay for the service.
For sure.
As you say, I mean, in a fishing analogy, it's sort of like give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day, right? Like,
teach
sure,
a man
you
to
can
fish.
hire me,
So
but like
true.
teach a man to fish, he's gonna eat for a lifetime, and you are teaching the world how to fish. And there's no greater appreciation for what you guys are doing to the art world, and my hat's off to you guys.
Awesome. I'll probably still have somebody try and track you down, Amanda. You'd be fun.
Oh, absolutely.
You'd be fun to have on the inside.
I'm open. I want to figure out a way this could work.
Yeah. April, remind me to have a talk about Amanda. But you know,
I'll be a great testimonial for you someday.
yeah. But my contention would be, Amanda, is that, you know, what we would teach you and continue to teach you would have such an outsized impact on what your revenue is, that even if you were paying the you know, the transaction fees, your business would still grow exponentially more so than it will that you on isolation, or even you with outside marketing help. Like, you know, it is a final. I know you got to go. Is like, we are getting better and better and better every day at what we do, and we're getting more and more and more customers, which means more and more and more data. And ultimately, it wouldn't even matter if we're good at marketing. We are. No one else is trying to solve this problem and getting this many reps and sets. And like, I go back to the live art show, right? Like, there's not a single solitary person on this planet that can snow me or run one better, because I run more than all of them. And it doesn't, it's not braggadocio. It's like, it's no different than anything else. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, right? So every day we're doing more and weird, unique things to try and sell art. And it is so different. It is such a different sale than selling golf clubs or swim fins or ladies' handbags. Like, this art does not sell like all these other products. And so I look at the timeline of just by us just focusing on this, you know, monomaniacally laser focus on this like we are, we're just going to keep getting better and better and better and better and better and better. And we're executing on it quicker and quicker and quicker. And it's like, I have a whole team now that's just running tests on customers. Before, it was just like me doing an occasional case study. Now we are literally in the next like 3 weeks going to have 30 live art shows drop, and each one we're learning something. So it's a, trust me, it is an outsized competitive advantage, not based on the fact that we're good, but just based on the fact that I don't know anyone else focused on it like we are.
Anyways,
Yeah.
that was my appointment, so I got to run.
Yep.
Appreciate everything you're doing, and to be continued.
Yeah, to be continued, dude. All right, we'll track you down. Thanks, Amanda. Okay, I know we have a bunch of questions in the chat. So people are asking about the paid ads. Like, again, you guys, until you're doing your marketing, you're not ready for them, right? And so you really have to you really have to stay focused on, or you really have to learn how to do all of that marketing first before you're even ready. You know, one of the questions that we get all the time, it's like, okay, if I sign up with you guys, you know, what does the financial commitment look like, right? Like, how much money do I need to budget for ads? And I'm like, you're not budgeting anything for ads because you're not ready to run ads. It might take you a year until you're ready to run ads. But once you have the marketing muscles built up, then we're good to go. Like, fundamentally in our business, and this is just so true, normal marketing, sale, normal marketing, sale, normal marketing, sale, normal marketing, sale. That was Q4. Typewriter comes back. Normal marketing, sale, normal marketing, sale. That's the whole business. It's the whole ball game. And why do I bring that up? I bring that up to say there's a lot of moving pieces to a well-orchestrated sale. There's a lot of stuff that you have to figure out. You're not going to get it on your first one. You're not going to be a true master of it until your 20th one, 30th one. So there's a lot of teaching that we have to do to get you up to speed, understand all the moving pieces and how this whole entire process works. Once we do, then you're in a position where you can actually start talking about running the traffic, the paid ads. And let me just say as a final, the 11th commandment, if there was one, thou shalt not boost posts, okay? Save that money. Do not light it on fire. Do not boost posts on Facebook and Instagram. That's a final passionate rant on my part, because it's just a total waste of money. A bunch of people were asking about pricing. So as I was kind of getting into, you know, on the previous chat, there's websites all over the place, right? There's a million that you can join. Some are free. Some are like $29 a month. What do they all share in common? They do not turn your business into a successful business. They do not teach you how to grow an art business, okay? They do not continually teach you. So that's what sets us apart. We actually want successful customers. If we are going to get successful customers, we have to have enough resources such that we can teach them to market year in, year out for life. So what do we charge? We have a couple of different plans. That's why we do the demo process. There's links in the chat. You can request a demo, a test drive. And again, no pressure. If you like what you hear, great. If not, they don't call you again. We're not that type of an operation. So it's zero commitment to do so. And you got to kick the tires and learn everything. But in terms of the pricing, we essentially charge a one-time fee that gets you access to all of the marketing education forever, which is like 55 million different things, including support. I mean, we have live support 6 days a week. You can jump into a Zoom call with somebody 6 days a week. They can look at your screen. They can get you unstuck. Tell me another website company that does that. Tell me another art and or photography selling website company that does that. Don't worry, I'll wait. None. And that's only like one thing that you get. There's that. There's a calendar that tells you what to do 365 days a year. There are Tuesdays, Thursdays, week in, week out Zoom sessions where we teach you what's going on the calendar, what's happening. Are we running a sale? What are we doing? And you get to ask questions just like on here. And Patrick, I'm doing this. This is going on. Sometimes it's with me, sometimes it's members of my team. And all of it holistically, collectively, is what we believe it takes to make successful customers. That's it. And then it can never stop. So the bottom plan that we have is I think $999 or $1,000, something like that, down to get in. And then you pay a website fee, a monthly website fee of like either $49 or $39. I don't even know what the prices are. But that's why we do the demo process, where you kind of have to figure that whole thing out. And, you know, case in point, right? Like, I love doing this one. But if I was to ask you guys, all right, and I'm going to have to put this into gallery mode because I want to see, anyone on this call know what the single solitary biggest e-commerce event is ever? Happens every year. Any ideas? Any hand raise? Anyone want to put it in the chat? No, nothing. It's not in the United States. It's not Black Friday, Cyber Monday. It's not Prime Day, which is coming up. It is called Singles Day, okay? And it is a holiday that was invented out of whole cloth by the Chinese. And on this particular day, 11/11 is when it starts, they sell more. And it used to be a single day, and now, of course, because they're industrious, they've stretched to like an 11-day sale. Last year, Singles Day outsold Mother's Day, Father's Day, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas, Amazon Prime Day combined. One event in China. Okay, they invented a holiday out of whole cloth. Jeff Bezos saw that and he's like, "This is genius. I'm going to do the same thing." And so he invented Prime Day. Prime Day is a holiday made out of whole cloth. It signifies nothing other than the fact that Amazon wants to have a big sale. And so what happens, in Prime Day is coming up, and there's a point to the story, I'll tell you in a second, on the 21st. The 20th and 21st. So he stole the idea from the Chinese. Well done. Normally they steal ideas from us. And it's one of Amazon's biggest selling days of the entire year. It's a holiday just made up, just pure commercial buying. So what does our calendar say? Guys, coming up on the 21st and 22nd is Amazon Prime Day. This is a fantastic day to get your version of Prime Day in the water. And so the calendar will tell you the week ahead of time, here's what we're going to announce the sale. There's going to be a live art show component. Here's the email text that you use. Send this day. Here's what to post on Facebook. Here's what to post on Instagram. And all of my customers are going to run a sale on Prime Day that they've made up out of thin air. Big deal. Big deal. Because everyone's got their wallets out and everyone's going to be buying that particular day. That's the kind of stuff that we do. That's what we teach you. And, you know, that's not, I mean, I'm giving away the store there because no one ever takes my advice on these things because no one ever does any execution. But do you know how smart it is to have a sale in the water at the same time the entire world is shopping for Prime Day? Very, very smart. Very, very smart. So there you go. One of the myriads of things that we potentially do. All right, Carmen's got, do you have collectors interested in the artists you have in your marketing system? I don't really completely understand that question. Carmen, I'm going to unmute you. I'll let you know when you get it. You have to click the mic in the bottom left, Carmen.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I've got you. So clarify the question for me if you could.
So my question is if you guys have collectors that are interested in what you're doing and are looking for artists and artwork within your marketing website.
No, there's no magic collector list or there's no magic like group of collectors. And even if we did, the collectors are really, for the most part, are unique to the artist, right? And unique to what that particular artist does. They're not like one big list that can just show a whole bunch of different art to.
I know, but there are collectors that I know. I am a Latin artist, painter, and I live in Oregon. So I know there are people that are interested in women that are Latin, that are painters in oil paint, And so my question was if you have lists.
No, but we teach you how to build one. We teach you how to build one. I honestly don't believe any of those lists exist. I mean, ultimately what you're looking for is a gallery relationship, right? Because they have collectors and galleries do have collectors and maybe some to a certain extent, but that's the whole point of building your own list, right? It's the whole ball game. And there's no magical list of collectors that I've ever been informed of that you can buy your way into or get any exposure. I mean, yes, galleries have individual little pockets of it, but you got to build your own. You have to build your own. That's the whole ball game. There's no easy way to get to it, right? And I can't begin to tell you how many times I've been asked that question, Carmen, about are you guys a marketplace? How do I just get it? If I just had a list of collectors, and it's like, almost all artists and photographers to a T are the same. You just want to create and you don't want to do any marketing. Well, guess what? If there's one thing that almost none of you guys want to do, where do you think all the arbitrage is? Right? The hard thing to do is yields the greatest results, and that's just the marketing. That's just the truth.
Yeah. Okay.
We do have some good Latin artists too, though. Where are you from? In Latin America?
Costa Rica.
Nice. Yeah. We've got we have some pretty prominent Mexican ones, actually, and I don't know if we have any customers from Costa Rica. We might do. I'd have to look into that. But yeah, beautiful country.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. That do it? Any others, Carmen?
That was one of my questions. Was the cost of signing up with you and the cost of the commissions on sales.
Yep. So you heard me go over the plan links, and there's like a top plan and like a medium plan and a bottom plan. I think I'm terrible at the levels, and I think the commissions at the highest are, I believe, 10%, and then they go down from there. But you'd have to do the demo to find out for sure, because I honestly don't know. Or maybe someone that's had a demo put it in there. I stay completely out of the sales and pricing zone because they have their own process, and I just don't do it. Normally we have somebody from the outreach team on these calls that answers all the things verbatim. Actually, I'll see if I can get one of them right now, actually.
The other question was about the website. So I understand from what you were talking with Amanda, that there's a website that the people that sign up with you go in there and they build a website within your system?
Yeah, you get your own website. We obviously provide the website, but it would be, carmenboras.com, right?
And because I have that already, so and it has taken me forever. It's super complicated, and I've had a long time of painting and everything. So so could I link that website to your website?
Yeah,
maybe add a page or whatever things for marketing that you suggest?
Yep. Yeah, you don't necessarily, I mean, I have like a couple of questions that I go through, and I would say, like, one, Carmen, okay, you have this website, I know. Is it selling art for you? Is it effective at selling art for you currently?
I don't sell it right from the website
right.
most of the time. People contact me, collectors that I have in Costa Rica, or people that know me. A lot of people know me by now.
Yeah.
So they do is usually they go in the website. They don't buy there, but then they call me or email me.
Yep.
For sales.
Yep. Totally got it.
But I don't have like a page that with prices and stuff. I don't have that.
Yeah. So I mean, I might as well just show an example. So, where we see this more often than in painters is, okay, so this guy's a customer. He's a photographer. He's, extremely well established photographer, BBC and Nat Geo and all of these things. And he has other parts of his business like motion, and he's got a stock archive and everything else. So this is his normal site. And if I click on Fine Art, it opens up a new tab, and that takes him to his art storefront store, right? So it could be store dot, you could put it on a subdomain, you could put it on a separate site, however you would want to do it. So you have every option available to you. But that's what I would say.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have anything where I sell there because my paintings are very elaborated. They take a long time to be made. And so it's not like I have a ton of painting for sale. I've done a little bit of sales on G-Class, but I'm not very hot on that either. But I could do that more. But so it's not like I can have like a store because I don't have so many paintings for sale. It's more like, I sell an expensive painting that takes me 2 or 3 months to paint. It's not like I have a lot of paintings to have a sale, like a garage sale. I don't have that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's why I'm asking all these questions about the collectors and all that. And because that's more the way that my art sells.
Yep, but that's just because you haven't properly been given the strategy on how to move prints and how to think about prints and what they look like. And I think even here's what I would say. What do your originals start at?
I sell anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000
Okay.
pieces.
So,
The smaller ones are like, something like this, like
yeah. So,
1,000, and then from there up.
how many stores do you walk into where the price starts at $1,000 and goes up from there?
I don't know. Some galleries, some
Yeah.
more galleries
Yeah.
are like that.
Yeah, not a whole lot, right? And so, one of the things that I'm a huge proponent of just understanding is like your art business, okay, needs as many revenue sources as possible. And one of the biggest mistakes artists make is not having the price point variability in the store, meaning your prices start essentially at $1,000, right? There's a whole lot of people that love you, that follow you, that are seeing your social post, but they can't afford $1,000. They're not ready for that price point. They would buy something from you today, but you don't have anything in the store. You don't have anything in the store. And when you do this for any period of time, by which I mean attempt to build one of these businesses, you start learning these little truths of being a merchant. The easiest customer to get is the one you already have, okay? What does that mean? The easiest person to sell to is someone that you've already sold something to before, right? So the fact that you don't have any of those cheaper price points means these people cannot buy anything from you, right? And they can't buy anything from you that's going to hang on their wall, that they're going to see every single solitary day, that they're going to be like, God, I love Carmen's work. This is amazing. And then what happens? 10 years go by, and guess what? They're now a high net worth individual. And guess what they've been seeing for the last 10 years? That $250 print that you sold them in the bathroom. And they're like, finally, you know what? I'm ready to get one of her originals. And you know what they do? They call you and they buy a $5,000 original. You never get that sale because you never made the first sale. That's how it works in real life. You have to understand the perspective, how long you're going to be at this, right? And like, think of your store as like, this is a terrible example, like, a 7-Eleven, right? If you walk into a 7-Eleven and there's only 2 racks of products in there, there's not that much you can buy. If you have 6 or 7 racks, there's something for everybody in there, right? And everyone's followers too. Like, where's my pen? It's not my kids with the pen. It's my wife. She's the one that takes these things constantly. Everyone's followers fall on a bell curve, okay? And everyone thinks like it's a socioeconomic bell curve, okay? And so on this side of the bell curve, you have the lower income bracket, right? And then you have lower middle class, upper middle class, and then the high net worth individual, standard issue bell curve, right? Everyone thinks like, ooh, I just want to market to the high net worth individuals. Well, guess what? Every business on the planet, aside from the 99-cent store, wants to market to the high net worth individuals. If everybody's trying to do something, it's going to be extremely difficult to do. And it's not the way that art sells. Everyone's followers, mine, yours, Shauna's, Donna's, is all representative of that bell curve, okay? And the low socioeconomic people, can they necessarily afford to buy anything? No, but they'll like and they'll comment and they'll share your posts, and they know people that are higher up, right? And then you've got everyone in the middle, a whole bunch of which you don't have any price point exposure to whatsoever, right? Whatsoever. And by the way, it doesn't necessarily have to be prints. You could do merch if you wanted to, right? Well, merch, Patrick, I wouldn't do merch. That's cheesy. Tell me a museum in the world that you walk into that doesn't have a gift shop. I'll wait.
Yeah, no, there are not.
They all have gift shops. Every single solitary museum does. So, you're missing out on these sales, and it's just like basic economics of the whole thing. And what happens is you just work on that bell curve, and you realize there's going to be people that can't afford the big stuff, and there's going to be people that can afford the big stuff, and everyone in between, and you just keep growing your slice of it. And what happens over time is, people move from various different stages of it, or they know the people that are at the very, very highest end of things. I mean, I use this example. We have a private Facebook group for our customers, right? And if you have a win, a big sale or whatever, they all post it in there. Oh, congratulations. How'd you do it? Everyone talks about it. It was like 6 months ago, a gal in there was like, you guys, you won't believe it. I got a huge sale with an interior decorator. It's $35,000. Absolutely amazing. And everyone's like, how'd you do it? Was it an ad? Did you, were they on your email list? And she's like, no. The interior decorator's cousin had been following me on Instagram for 5 years and told her, right? That's how sales happen. That's exactly how it happens. And, I say that to say, like, you can't just target the high net worth individuals, and you can't just target those high end collectors. You just have to work on your bell curve, market consistently, make sure that you have the price points so you can get the exposure to those folks, and then stay at it. And that's it. Well, you're going to be at this for the rest of your life. Why wouldn't you start doing it now? What I don't want you to do is believe the high net worth collector list and someone has it. I mean, that collector list is like Bigfoot. Everyone's heard about him. No one's ever seen him.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Got to work on
Yeah.
your marketing.
I was just wondering if you guys had something in that way, because I know there's a lot of people with a lot of money looking for art out there,
Mm-hmm.
and they want some specific kind of type of art. So I was just wondering if you
I see what you mean
had
when you
some
say.
links and stuff to.
I see what you mean
I,
when you say your stuff is super detailed. By the way, that takes a long time.
yeah, there was a commission for a hotel here in town in McMinnville where I live.
Uh huh.
That took me about 4 months, and in that one I was working every day.
Jeez. Yeah, you got
A
mega
lot of stuff
detail.
that I don't work.
Yeah, you were crazy to think that these wouldn't go over well as prints. These would go over fantastic as
I've
prints.
made them. I've made them, but they're not cheap to produce. I like to make them on canvas, so they really. I mean, if you don't know if they're paint, if you don't know anything about painting, you sometimes think that the prints are the originals
Mm-hmm.
because my surfaces are very smooth.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not cheap either. So sometimes when there's a print that I have to pay for the print and the stretcher bar to make, and it costs me $150, and I want to sell it for 300.
Mm-hmm.
Then 300, then people think, at least in this little town where I live, they go to the local art gallery and they find an original there, whatever it is, for I don't know, $200. And then they think, what do I get? Like, do I get Carmen's print, or is a print, or get an original that is just $200? And that's kind of the game that I have.
Yep.
Um,
Stop playing that game. That game's nonsense.
yeah.
We can teach you how to make prints. You can make them on all the various different substrates. Your stuff will go great. You need to get those prices into the store, and you need to work on your marketing. We can help you, Carmen.
Yeah.
We can help
Well,
you.
sounds good. Yeah, I'll schedule a personal thing with
Yeah.
you guys and see.
Yeah, and we have to get the damn price points into your store immediately.
Yeah.
You have to do it, Carmen. You got to trust me. I know what I'm talking about on this one. Even if you don't sign up, you have to contemplate how to get those doggone price points into your store.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And we do have some Costa Ricans, some Ticos on staff, actually. We were, I muted you again, so I can't hear you, but we were pre-pandemic. We were, I was myself and one other guy in the marketing team were the only two people that were not in Austin, Texas, where we had an office. Closed the office, realized like we're not going to open an office back up, and now we have employees all over the world, straight up, like in every country, including Costa Rica. And you know what? The damn internet in Costa Rica goes out so often. My friend, so staff, she's on our marketing team, and I feel so sad. It's like internet's down again, and then onto the cell phone, and then it's just a constant battle. So working down there is not the easiest thing to do. Okay. Other questions? And good questions, Carmen. And I hope you sign up. We can totally help you. Do you offer art? And Belina, I'm just going to unmute you because I don't understand this question. Go ahead. Are you still there? Belina, you'll have to hit the mic icon.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. I have my Etsy list and my PayPal list. I have my customers who've purchased. Can I use those customers and just just sending a blind email saying,
I knew I liked you. I knew I liked you, Belina. Yes, you can. Absolutely. 100% you can.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And should be. And should be.
Okay. And when you do the live shows, do you offer the price at a discount? Do you offer the art on sale? Like, do you give a discount off the price, or do you just sell it as is?
Horses for courses, right? Like, there's different scenarios where you do different things, but yes, this will come as a surprise to no one. Art is always on sale. Art is always on sale.
Okay.
And people always say to me like, "Well, I've heard that cheapens the work." And that infuriates me. Okay, I am aware of two companies.
I've heard that too.
There are two companies I'm aware of that don't discount. They are Louis Vuitton and Tiffany's. I don't know of any others. Mm-hmm. Everyone else discounts. And another little dirty little secret: the more expensive the art, okay, once you actually do get pieces that are $20, $30, $40, $50, $60, $70,000 and up, do you have any idea the amount of negotiation that goes on those purchases? How do you think the people that can afford $70, $80, $90, $100,000 piece of art got their wealth in the first place? It wasn't by paying retail, okay? They negotiate on everything. The higher price point, so yes, you should have sales. It is just human nature. You need an incentive for us to take action. So the sale provides that.
Okay. So I have a website. I sell prints. I sell merch. I sell all these different things,
Mhm.
but it's just I don't have eyes. And I was just about to just do some research myself today on marketing and how to get eyes. And I just was going through my email and I was like, oh, Zoom meeting. Okay. And then it was going on right now. So
Amazing.
I'm just frustrated because, number one, from this webinar, I realized I'm not being consistent. I need to build
100% you're not. Yep.
Subscriber list.
Yep.
I have very few.
Yep.
We need to build a collector list, and yeah, consistency. And it's just like I really don't know what to post. What am I just telling them? Oh, I'm painting today, or here's what I'm working on.
I
Like,
know. I know.
I feel
This
like I'm
marketing thing
bothering
is not
people.
easy. I
I feel
know.
like I'm bothering people.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah. It's why we exist. Everyone has this exact same problem. And it's just what we teach you to do all year long. And not just teach you, like the other rad thing about in the whole internet world is figuring this out right now. Like, so there was first a boom in online education. Here's this class, here's that class, take this class, buy this course, buy a course on Facebook ads, master class, all the rest of the classes, right? The dirty little secret about the classes is the completion rate for any of these courses: how to run Facebook and Instagram ads, right? How to blog, how to do email marketing, any of the rest of it, right? How to do needlepoint, it doesn't matter. The percentage of people that buy these courses and never finish them is like, it's only like a 15 to 20% completion rate of the people that buy the courses actually finish them, because we as human beings are not wired to learn at our own pace on our own without any live teaching and support. And so the latest, greatest craze is here, and it's called cohort-based learning, meaning instead of buying a class on how to learn Facebook and Instagram ads, you're buying a class in which you're actually going to have to be on a Zoom call for a teaching session and have Q&A. Well, we have that going on with a bunch of your peers on a week in, week out basis. And being an entrepreneur, okay, and an artist, a photographer, you guys are all solopreneurs, is a lonely road. You need accountability. You need some structure and some folks that are going through the same thing at the same time with you. And, when you're having a down week, they pick you up. They're having a down week, you pick them up. Everyone's keeping everyone accountable. And, you talk about consistency. Why are you not consistent? Because it's damn hard to be consistent, right? It really helps to have a system and have a group of people going through it all at the same time. It will keep you much more consistent. So, yeah, being able to learn all this stuff with live teaching, a bunch of the same things as you see over and over and over again, is an extremely powerful thing.
Okay. All right, so now I just have to. The marketing is just hard. It's just like,
Yes,
I just want to paint, like you said. I just
know.
want to paint. I don't want to do this.
I know.
I don't want to do this,
But
it's
again,
necessary.
yeah, it's like,
to-
Belina, the other way to say it is like, I just want to have a perfectly sculpted and toned body, but I don't want to eat right.
Yeah.
I want to drink as much as I can. I don't want to work out, right? Like, not going to happen, right? So everybody wants the same thing and no one wants to do the work. And so it's just, that's where the opportunity is. That's where the gap is. That's where, like, the greatest opportunity to grow a business is. I know. Somebody told us it was going to be easy, but it's not easy. You have to do the work.
Not at all.
Yeah, you got to do the
All right.
work.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, William. All right, I'm running out of gas. Any final questions, guys? I'm kind of scanning through the chat. Thanks for the nice comments. Yeah, I think that mostly covers it. If not, you guys can definitely come to another session. What I would recommend you do is, if this is the first time you're learning about us and you're just figuring it out, don't worry about it. We're going to be around. As stated earlier, our marketing is very good. It will catch you here, there, and everywhere. But if you're in a contemplative mode in the slightest, I can barely say that word, request a demo. Go and get the test drive, see all the software, have the one-on-one conversation with someone from our team, and then you can make your mind up from there. Is it the right time? Is it not the right time? At least I understand all the bells and whistles. Get all the pricing from them so you understand the whole picture. Otherwise, you can come to another session. We will be around, and I'm going to email you the replay to this thing, all the links. You should definitely check out that report I sent you too. It's a really good report, that art market report. And other than that, guys, thanks. Thanks for coming. Been awesome, and hope to see you. In another one.